Our next topic is for loop. So we have studied about two types of statement. They are selective statement and iterative statement. So in selective statement we studied if statements. Then next one is iterative statement. Sometimes we want to repeat a particular statement. For that we use loops, looping statements. They are called iterative statements. Examples for iterative statements are for loop and while loop. So let us see what is a for loop. Sometimes we need to repeat certain things for a particular number of times. For example, a program has to display attendance for every student of a class. Here, the program has to execute the print statement for every student. In this programming, the kind of repetition is called looping or iteration, and it is done using for statement. For statement is used to iterate over a range of values or a sequence. The loop is executed for each item in the range. The values can be numeric, string, list or tuple. When all the items in the range are exhausted, the statements within loop are not executed, and Python interpreter starts executing the statements immediately following the loop. While using for loop, we should know in advance the number of times the loop will execute. How many times the loop will execute, we should know before entering into the loop. That can be that how many times the loop will execute is understood in the sequence or items in range. So the syntax for statement is for control variable in sequence or items in range. Then the for statement is followed by a colon to mark the beginning of the for loop. Then all the statements inside that for loop will be given in a indentation, that is after some space. Then all the statements inside that for loop will executed many times, as many times as there are values in that sequence, or as many times as there are items in that particular range. So let us see the examples. So this is a small program to indicate how the working of for loop. So we know that the for statement has the syntax for control variable in either sequence or in range. So here the example is in range. So for control variable is I, for I in range. Range is a function that will generate values within that particular range. So here in the range function, two parameters are given, 1 and 10. So this range function will generate values from 1 to 10 minus 1, that is 1 to 9. So let us see, here we are going to print the values from 1 to 9. So this program is to print the values from 1 to 9. For that, either we will provide print 1, print 2, print 3. We have to write like that. And because it is time consuming and we are wasting the code, simply writing the code so many times. To avoid that, we can write the statement what is to be printed, what is to be executed 9 times inside the for loop. So let us see how we will write. So for I in range, we have to repeat it 9 times like this: 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So we'll write it for I in range 1 comma 10, that is starting value should be 1 and stopping value should be 9. So we have to write the stop as 10, then only it will print till 9, that is 10 minus 1 will be printed. So then colon, then inside that print I. Here I is will have different values in the range function. First the variable I will have the value 1, then it will print 1. You can see here 1 is printed. Then again for loop will execute. Then I will have value 2 and it will go inside the loop. Inside the loop only one statement is there, that is print I. Then I will be printed as 2. Then again the value of I will be changed. I will have the value 3. Then print I will print 3. Then again I will be 4. Then it will go inside the loop. Then I will be printed as 4. Again then 5, I becomes 5 and 5 will be printed. Then I becomes 6, then 6 will be printed. Then again I becomes 7 and 7 will be printed. Then the I will be incremented and next value in the range, that is 8. Then again print I, 8 will be printed. Then again I equal to the value in the range 1 to 9. Then I is 9 and again 9 will be printed. Now again the I does not have any value in that range because all the values we have covered for the control variable I. So I had all the values in that particular range. So now this for loop will stop execution and it will not execute any time. It will stop execution and it will start executing the statement which is below that for loop. Print I will not execute any time anymore. So to repeat a particular statement, here print I is repeated 9 times. To repeat a particular statement, we use for loops. We will see a few more examples. Next is range function. We have seen here a range function, range 1 to 10. So let us see what is that range function. So the syntax of range function is range in parenthesis start, stop, step. What is given inside this square bracket is optional. That is, we don't need these things. It is not compulsory. But one parameter is compulsory, that is stop. So what are the parameters of this range function? It is start, stop and step. The range function is built-in Python function, inbuilt Python function. That is, we do not have to import libraries for using that function. So it is called built-in function. It is used to create a list containing a sequence of integers from the given start stop value, excluding the stop value. So we have excluded the stop value 10 and we consider values from 1 to 10 minus 1, that is 1 to 9, with a difference of the given step value. So here start is 1, stop, then step is also there. Here we have given only start and stop, so step is considered as 1. So the first value will be 1, second value will be 2. Likewise step is increased by 1. If I have given the step as 2, then first value will be 1, then next value will be 3, then 5 and so on. That is, the values are increased based on the step. If start value is not specified, by default the list starts from 0. If we do not specify the start value, it starts from 0. If step is also not specified, by default the value is incremented by 1 in each iteration. All parameters of range function must be integers. So all the parameters inside, that is start, stop and step, should be a integer. The step parameter can be a positive or a negative integer excluding 0. So stop parameter, step can be either positive value or a negative value. So let us see different types. This range function is always used in list. So we know that what is list? List is a elements inside square bracket. Elements are enclosed in square bracket separated by commas. So it is a list. So let us see what the range function will generate. So here range of 10, list of range of 10 implies that we are converting that output generated into a list. So list of range of 10, this bracket is called of because it is a function. So we in the range function you can see only one parameter. So what will be that parameter? It is stop, because start and step are not compulsory. Only stop is a compulsory parameter in the range function. If only a single parameter is present in that range function, it will be the stop. So start will be 0. Always start will be 0 by default and step will be 1. So when we print this range of 10, you can see all the values generated are from 0 to 10 minus 1, that is 9. Values are generated from 0 to 10 minus 1, that is 9. Always stop value will not be considered. The value that is considered is stop minus step. Stop minus step value will be only considered. Here step is what? Step is 1 because step is not specified. By default we will consider step as 1. Then next example, list of range 2, 10. So 2, 10, start is 2 and stop is 10. Only 2 parameters are there, so it is start and stop. So it will start with 2 and step is not given, so it is by default 1. So the elements will be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. 10 will not be included because stop value is not included. Only stop minus 1 will be included. Stop minus step will be included. Here stop is 10 and step is 1. So 10 minus 1, that is only values till 9 will be included. Consider the next example. You can see list of range of 0, 30, 5. Here 3 parameters are there. So all the 3 parameters start, stop and step. So our first start value is what? 0. So the list will start with 0. The next value will be 0 plus step. So what is step? Step is the third parameter, that is 5. 0, 5. Then again plus step 10, 20, 30. Last value will be what? Stop minus 5. What is stop? 30. Last value will be 30 minus 5, that is 25. So the list will start from 0 and all the values will be with a difference of 5. 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. The last value will be 25. Next example, list of range of 0, minus 9, minus 1. Here the stop and step are negative values. So the starting value is given as 0 and the next value is what? 0 plus step, that is 0 plus minus 1, that is minus 1. Then next value is minus 1 plus minus 1, that is minus 2. Then the next value minus 3 minus 2 plus minus 1, that is minus 3, and so on. It is incrementing by minus 1. So how much will be the last value? What will be the last value? The last value will be minus 1 minus minus 1. Likewise, we computed the last value. Last value will be the stop minus step, that is stop is minus 9. Minus 9 minus minus 1, that is what? Minus 9 plus 1, that is minus 8. So you can see the last value here is minus 8. So this is how the range function works. And in the for loop, all these of the I, that is the control variable, any value can be given for that variable. That I will have all the values in this particular list that is generated. First I will have the value 0, then 2, then 3. When the I has the value 9, then after that no value is there for I. So the for loop will stop its execution. Only that much time the loop will only execute. How much values are there in this list, that much time only the for loop will execute. Okay children, let us see how the for loop works. So the syntax for loop is for I in range 1, 10. This is an example of for loop. Let us see how this for loop works. So this I is the control variable and range is the range function. So in the range function we have two parameters there, start and stop. So let us see how this works. First, this statement which is inside the for loop, this statement is inside the for loop because there is a semicolon and the statement after the for loop will have a certain space, and this is called indentation, and this is 4 spaces apart. The statement below the for loop is 4 spaces apart. So let us see how the for loop works. So in for loop, the statement inside the for loop will iterate, will execute many times. So let us see how this statement executes. So in the first iteration, the value of I is the control variable. So I can have values from 1 to 10 minus 1, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I can have values 1 to 9. Then let us see in the first iteration what happens. So in the first iteration, what is the value of I? I will have the value 1. So I is equal to 1. Then what is the statement below that? Print I. So what will be printed in the output? I1 will be printed. Then again this for loop will iterate. In second iteration, I is now 2. I is equal to 2. Then next statement is inside the for loop is print I. Then what will be printed? Print 2 will be printed in the next line. The print statement, whenever it executes, the output will be printed in new line. It will be printed in next line only. Whenever a print statement executes, the output will always be printed in new line. Then in the third iteration, I is equal to 3, then print I will be printed as 3. What is the value of I? I is 3, so 3 will be printed. Then again in the for loop will execute. Then in the fourth iteration, what is the value of I? I is equal to 4. Then it enters into the loop, then print I. Then I will be printed 4. Then in the fifth iteration, again it will go to for statement. Then I will be 5. Then next enters into the loop and prints the print I. This executes the statement print I. Then I will be printed. Then I will be printed 5. Then in the sixth iteration, again this will go to the for loop statement. After executing this, it will come out of the loop and go to the for statement and execute as many times as there are values in this list. So it will execute 9 times. So I equal to 5. Then in the sixth iteration, I becomes 6 and print I will print 6 in the next line. Then in the seventh iteration, again I becomes 7 and print I equal to 7 and it will execute the statement print I. So the value of I is 7. It is printed. Then in the eighth iteration, I is equal to 8. Then print I will print 8. Then in the ninth iteration, I is equal to 9. Print I will print 9. Then in the next iteration, I will check whether any value is present in this list. So I has had the values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. But all the values in this list are over. So next time the for loop will not execute. So for loop will stop its execution and it got its value. The output is obtained like this. This is based on the range function. Also same can be used in a string like for I in welcome, print I. So this is a string. Here also, like all the elements in a list, the elements in a string can also be printed. So first value of I will be what? Here no range function is needed because it is a string. For only numbers range function can be used. So for I in welcome, print I will first the value of I will be the first character of the string welcome. So print I will print W. Then again it will go to the for statement. Then I will become E. The variable control variable I will have the value E. So print I will print E in the next line. If we want to print this values of I in the same line, we have to write here, instead of this statement we have to write print I comma end equal to, like this way. So print I end equal to a empty space. Then only the output will be W. In the same line E will be printed, because by default Python has the end character as new line. So when we print the multiple times, when same statement in the print statement is executed, it will print always in the new line. So then E will be printed, then I, the value of I will become L. So print I will print L in the next line. Then I will have the value, next value, that is C. So print I will print the next character in that string, that is C. Again I will have the value O. So print I will print the next character O. Again I will have the next value, that is M. Then print M will print I will print the value contained in I, that is M. Then again I will have the value E. Then print I means it will print E. So welcome will be printed in like this, in this way, using a for loop. Next is, we have seen a single for loop. So if we want to print certain patterns or numbers in the form of rows and columns, so in that case we need nested loops, that is a loop inside a loop. So a loop may contain another loop inside it. A loop inside another loop is called a nested loop. So let us see how this nested loop works. Children, let us see how a nested for loop works. So in a nested for loop, there is a for loop inside a for loop. So let us see how it works. For I in range 1, 6, for j in range I, print So this is a simple program of a nested loop to print a pattern of stars, just to print a pattern of stars. So let us see how this for loop works. So in this we have, so we can write this 5, 1, 5. So first, when the interpreter executes, first statement it will execute is this statement, for I in range 1, 5. Change to the value 5 so that iteration is reduced. So for I in range 1, 5. So the range function will generate a list containing values from 1 to 5 minus 1. This is the start, this is stop, step is not given. So in the range function 3 parameters are there: start, stop and step. Start is given, stop is given, step is not given. So 1, 5. So 1 to 5 minus 1, that is 1 to 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. These values will be generated by the range function. So the I will have values from 1, 2, 3, 4. I will have value 1, 2, 3, 4. So first the control variable I will have the value 1. So in the first iteration, the value of I is equal to 1. So the interpreter will go to the next statement, that is inside the for loop. So all these statements with same indentation, you can see this and this spacing is same, but this is somewhat far away. So all the statements with same indentation are the statements in first for loop. Then you can see this is another print statement which is 4 spaces apart from this statement. So this one is inside this for loop, but these two statements are inside this for loop. So whole this is inside the first for loop, and the second for loop has only one statement, which is this. So you can see the space is 4 spaces apart. 4 spaces apart. So let us see how this works. So in the first statement I equal to 1, and when we enter this for loop, the value will be the value of I is equal to 1. When we enter this for loop, you can see for j there is a range function, a range of I equal to 1. So we have a, for I equal to 1, we have a value for j. J can have, j there is a range function, so range of I. So the value of I is 1. So range of I means range of 1. So it also produces a list with values from 0 to, here from 1 to is considered because there is a start value. Here only stop value is there, that is I. I is the stop value. So what is the value of I here? I is 1. So the values can be 0 to I minus 1, that is 1 minus 1, that is 0. Only one value will be there for j. So again for j, in the first iteration I is 1. For this for loop, I is equal to 1. Then it enters the statement inside the for loop. There is again a for loop with control variable j. So j, for j also will iterate because j is also a for loop. So the value of j will be j equal to 0. Then what is the statement to be executed inside this for loop? Print star. So it will print a character, a string star. It is enclosed in single quote, so it will print a string star. Then end equal to space, that is it will end with a, this print statement will end with a space. So a space will be given. Then again no values are there in this range function, so it will stop iteration. This for loop will stop iteration and print the next statement, that is after that. So it will again print a one more space that will not be displayed. Then after printing this, it will go to the first for loop. So I value will now become I equal to 2. So in the second iteration of this for loop, I becomes I equal to 2. I becomes I equal to 2. Then it enters the for loop, then j in range, for j in range of I. So j also will iterate and j can have the values from in range of I. So I is 2, so j can have value 0, 1, that is 0 to 2 minus 1. 0 to 2 minus 1, that is 0, 1. So I j equal to, first value of j is 0. For j equal to 0, when j equal to 0, the statement is printed as print star. Again star will be printed. Then again j value will be, this is for loop, so only this statement will be executed as many times as there are values in this list generated by the range function. So again the j value will be incremented and it becomes the next value in that list. So the j value, second iteration of j is equal to 1. J becomes 1 and in that print star, end equal to space, then print star, it will print again a star. Then again no value is there for j, so it will print the statement that is outside this. So it will print again a space, again a space will be printed. Then this again will go to the first for loop. So from the first for loop, I value will become the next value, that is 3. So in the third iteration, I is equal to 3. I value becomes 3. Then j value can have, the range function is j in range of I. So I is 3, so j can have values 0, 1, 2, that is 3 minus 1. Then first iteration j equal to 0, first value j equal to 0, then it will enter the loop print star and equals to space, that is a space will be given along with printing the star, a space will be given if end equal to star, otherwise this star will be printed in next line. But if end equal to star space, then the star will be printed in the same line. So again it will go to the for loop, increment the value of j to the next value, that is j equal to 1. Then again print star end equal to space, that is a space will be given. Then again j value will be the next value in the range function, that is 2. So j equal to 2. Again print star end equal to space. Again no value is there for j. So it will execute the statement outside the for loop, that is print space. Again one space will be printed. Then in the fourth iteration, here it will go to this. Then I becomes I equal to next value, that is 4. I is equal to 4. Fourth iteration I becomes I equal to 4. Then j can have values from 0, 1, 2, 3, that is 4 minus 1, that is 3. Then j equal to, in the first iteration j becomes 0, and the statement inside that for loop is print star end equal to space. So print star, a space will be printed. Then again for loop will iterate and j becomes j equal to the next value, that is 1, and again print star end equal to space, star space is given. Then again for loop will iterate because another value is there, j equal to 2, print star end equal to space. Again one the value is there, so j becomes 3, j equal to 3, print star, j equal to 3, then print star end equal to space. All the values are over. So the next statement outside the print for loop will execute, that is print space. Then it will go to the first for loop. Then it will check all the values of I are taken, that is I equal to 1, I equal to 2, I equal to 3, I equal to 4. It is 4 times the I this loop has executed. So the for loop will stop its execution and it will print a pattern like this, that is star star like this a pattern will be printed. This is how a nested for loop works. Equal to 1 is done before entering into the loop. I equal to 1 is done before entering into the loop, and while condition is checked in the loop like the for loop. Then print I, then the conditions inside the body of the loop, then print I, then the value of I is incremented. So this is same as that of the program we have did using for loop. For I in range 1 to 10 print I. It is same as that of the program, but one is written in for loop and the other is written in while loop. So here I equal to 1 is set. Then while I less than 6, the loop will execute. So while now we have I equal to what? 1 is less than 6. So print I will print the first value 1. Then I equal to I plus 1, that is I plus equal to 1 is I equal to I plus 1, that is I equal to 1 plus 1, 2, I becomes 2. Then again it will compare the value 2 less than 6. 2 is less than 6, yes. So it will print the value I, that is 2. Then again increment the value I, it will become 3. Then again it will go to while statement and compare whether 3 is less than 6. 3 is less than 6, so it will print 3. Then increment the value, it becomes 4. Then again it will go to while statement and compare whether 4 less than 6. 4 is less than 6, so it will print I, that is 4. Then again it will increment I equal to 5. Then compare 5 less than 6. 5 is less than 6, so it will print 5. Then again it will increment, I becomes 6. Then it will compare the value whether 6 less than 6. 6 is not less than 6, so the loop will not execute anymore. It will stop the iteration and only the values till 1 to 5 will be printed. In while loop, we do not know how many times the loop will execute until we enter into the loop. But in for loop, we know how many times the loop will execute before entering into the loop, because we are specifying a particular range. So that much time only the loop will execute. But in while loop, when we enter into the loop only, we know how many times the increment is, how much increment is performed. Based on that only the loop will execute. So based on this value I plus equal to 1, the iteration of the loop is decided. How many times the loop will iterate is decided based on this value. So after entering into the loop only, we will know how much time the loop will execute. So we have let us see how the while loop works. So while loop is similar to that of for loop, but only the difference is that in a for loop we know how many times the loop will execute. That is, in for loop, how many times the loop will execute, how many values are there in the range function, how many values are obtained by the range function. Only that much time the for loop will execute. But in while loop, we cannot predict the how many times the loop will execute until we enter inside the loop. So in while loop, this in for loop, this I is equal to 1. The first initialization is done in the loop statement itself. I equal to 1 is done in the loop itself. Then incrementing the I value, that is in the range function, we are incrementing the value. I is equal to I plus 1, that is I value will become 2, then become 3, then become 4, then become 5, and I value should be less than 6. So these all things are there in the for statement itself, But in the while statement, the initialization is performed outside the loop. That is, I equal to 1 is done, initialization is performed outside the while loop. You can see first initialization is performed, then only we are writing the while statement. Then the condition is checked in the while statement. The I value should be less than 6. This condition is checked in the while statement. Then we are putting a colon to mark that all the statements below this while statement are part of this while loop. These two statements are part of this while loop. So while iterating, all these statements to be printed. All these statements are to be executed. So let us see how this while loop executes. So first value of y, I is given, I is equal to 1. In the first iteration, what is the value of I? I is equal to 1, it is given. So, we will check whether the first this statement will be executed, then this statement. While I less than 6, it will check whether I is less than 6. I less than 6, yes, true. I is less than 6, that is 1 is less than 6. So, the next statement inside, here also indentation is there. So, print I will print the value 1. Then, here I plus equal to 1 means I is equal to I plus 1. I is equal to I plus 1, that is I becomes I plus 1, that is here I will become 2. In the statement I will become 2. Then again, what is the value of I now? I is 2. Then in the second iteration, the control will go to the while condition. Then it will check whether the current value of I is less than 6. I less than 6, that is 2 less than 6. Condition is true, so it enters the loop. Then print I will print, so now I is equal to 2 and print I will print 2 in the next line. Then now here after this statement, in this statement what will be the I? I is equal to I plus 1, that is I is equal to 3. I will become 3. Again this control will go to the while condition. While I less than 6, I less than 6, yes, I is 3 which is less than 6. So this condition is true. Then print I. Print I will print 3. Again I is equal to I plus 1. I plus equal to 1. Then I is equal to 4. Then in the next iteration, it will check whether 4 less than 6. Yes, 4 is less than 6. So it will enter the loop and print I. I is equal to 4. So print I will print 4. Then in this statement I becomes I is equal to 5. And in the fifth iteration I is equal to 5. So it will check whether I 5 less than 6. So 5 is less than 6. So it will print I, print 5, then increment the value of I. So I is equal to 6. In this statement I becomes 6 and it will go and check the condition. 6 less than 6? No, 6 is not less than 6. So it will come out of the loop and all the statements, these two statements are inside the loop. Again, if there is any other statement outside the loop, those statements will be executed. This loop will stop iteration and all the statements below the loop will start execution. So here the condition becomes false, that is I equal to 6, that is 6 less than 6 is false. So the condition is false, so it will not enter the loop and iteration will stop and the output will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in same line. So if we want to print in like this way 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we have to just write here in this statement print I comma end equal to a space. Then it will print like this. If we write like this, print I comma end equal to space, then it will print like this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the same line. So children, I have given few homeworks. Let us see the questions. Write a Python program to calculate the amount payable if money has been lent on simple interest. Principal of money lent is equal to P and rate of interest equal to R% per annum and time equal to T years. Then simple interest SI is equal to P into R into T by 100. Then amount payable is equal to principal plus simple interest. So children, what we have to calculate? First we have to calculate the simple interest and then the amount. So we are given the formula SI equal to PRT by 100. So we have to give the inputs for principal, rate of interest and time to calculate the simple interest. So take the input like this. I have given the variable name as P for principal. P is equal to eval. Eval I have given because then the in whatever it is taken through the input function will directly convert it to it's directly converted to that particular data type. No need of specifying whether it is floating point or integer or any list or anything. This eval function will directly convert it into that particular data type, what the value it got from the input function. If I have given 2.5, it will convert it into float. If I have given 25, it will convert to int. So that is the purpose of eval function. So we can use eval, then no need of using int or float or any data type. In string, no need of using eval. For entering name, we don't need to use eval because string is already in the form of, the input function takes the value already in the form of strings. So we have the function p is equal to a variable p is equal to eval input in single quotes enter the principal. Then r is equal to eval input enter the rate of interest. T is equal to eval input enter the time. So all these values we enter is stored in the variable p, r and t. So we can calculate the simple interest SI is equal to p star r star t in brackets by 100. So our SI, that is simple interest, is stored in the variable SI. Now we can calculate the amount payable. In question it is given amount payable equal to principal plus simple interest. So amount is equal to P plus SI. So what is P? The variable P has the principal value and SI is the simple interest. So A is equal to P plus SI, that is amount will be calculated and stored in the variable A. Now we can print in single quotes. I will write simple interest, then only I will get the output like this: simple interest space colon space then single quotes close comma SI. SI is not written in single quotes, so the value what is obtained for the variable SI will be printed. Then print amount in single quotes amount, because I want to be amount to be printed like this: amount comma A. A is not enclosed in single quotes. We need the value what is obtained for A. So when we run this, the output will be obtained like this: enter the principal, then 10,000, enter the rate of interest 2%, enter the time 3 years. So the simple interest is calculated as P into R into T by 100, that is 600. Then amount is equal to 10,000 P plus simple interest, that is 10,000 plus 600, 10,600. So you can see what things I have given in single quotes is printed as it is, and what I have not given in single quotes is printed in with its value. You can see simple interest I have given in single quotes, this colon and space I have given in single quotes. Then the value SI is not printed like SI. Its corresponding value is only printed because SI has some value here. We have calculated some value for SI. Then the amount is also given in single quotes, amount, colon, space in single quotes. Then comma, if we do not specify comma here, then it will produce error. So we have to write comma after single quotes, put a comma, and then the variable whose value is to be printed. Then we have to print the value of amount. So A, so the value of A is 106,600, 10,600. So another program is there. Write a program to repeat the string good morning n times. Here n is an integer entered by the user. So we have studied what is the to repeat something we have to use for loop. To repeat something we have to use for loop. So n times we have to repeat, and n is to be given by the user. That is how many times the string should be repeated is given by the user. So we need an input function. So we write the program like this. N is equal to eval input, enter a number. Then for I in range of n, that is from 0 to n minus 1, these values will be selected. Then inside that for loop we have given the statement print. You can see there after the inside the statements, inside the for loop, some space is there from the starting position. You can see that is called indentation. So all the statements inside a loop or if statements will have this space. When we put this colon only, this space will come. Then only the interpreter will understand that these statements are a part of the loop. So only these statements are to be executed when the loop iterates. When the loop iterates, only statements with these indentation will be iterated or executed that much times. So here we have to print good morning n times. So we have given this print good morning inside the good morning is a string. So we have enclosed it in single quotes. And print good morning will be printed how many times that we give value for n. So here when we run this program, enter a number, that is enclosed in single quotes, will be printed as a prompt, enter a number. So we can give any value to that as input. So I have given 5. So n will have values from 0 to 5 minus 1, that is 4, range function. So it will work as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So for 0th position it will print good morning, then again for 1 good morning, again for 2 good morning, again for 3 good morning, then again for 4 good morning. Likewise 5 times it will print good morning. For I value 0, good morning. For I value 1, again good morning. For I value, this is the control variable I. So I will have values what the range function has produced in the list. So range function will produce 0 to n minus 1. So here n is 5. So 0 to 5 minus 1, that is 0 to 4. That is 5 values. 5 times this good morning will be repeated. So this is the program. Then next program is write a program to find the average of 3 numbers. So we have to input 3 numbers. So I have given variable names n1, n2, n3 for 3 numbers. n1 eval input enter first number, n2 eval input enter second number, n3 eval input enter third number. So we got 3 numbers, 3 variables which will store the numbers entered by us. Then we can calculate the average. Average is what? Sum by number of values. So we have 3 values, so by 3. So AVG, I am giving the value for average as is equal to n1 plus n2 plus n3 in bracket divided by 3, because there are 3 values, divided by 3. Then print the average is AVG, is the average is in single quote, so that when the output comes, it is written like this: the average is in single quotes, then comma, then I want to provide the value obtained for this average. So value obtained for this average is in AVG, so it will print AVG. So you can see, enter the first number. I have entered 10. Enter second number. What we have given in this single quotes will be directly printed there. Enter third number, 30. The average is, and printed as it is, and the value for AVG is computed and stored in the variable AVG, that will be printed, 20. Next program is, write a program that asks the user to enter one's name and age. So user has to enter their name and age. Then print out a message addressed to the user that tells the user the year in which he or she will turn 100 years old. So we have to enter the name and age. So name is a string, so no need of using eval function there. So name is equal to input, enter your name. Age is equal to eval, input, enter your age. Age is an integer value, so we have to convert it into its corresponding data type. So we need eval function there. Then you have to consider the logic, that is, after 100, current age minus 100, we have to compute, so that we can calculate how many years are there for us to become 100 years old. So our 100 minus our current age will give a particular value. That much years we will, that much years are required for us to become 100 years old. So I have computed it as A is equal to 100 minus age. So whatever is our age, then 100 minus that age will be the value for A. So that much years we will have to, that much years will take us to become 100 years of old. Then in 2020, now current year is 2020, then which year we will become 100 years? So 2020 plus how many years are required to become 100 years of old? So 2020 plus that particular value, that is A. So if I am 99 years old, then A is equal to what? 100 minus 99, that is 1. So in B is equal to what? 2020 plus 1, that is in 2021 I will become 100 years old. So that wise we can print it as name, because I want the value of stored in the variable name. So name, comma, in single quotes, will turn 100 years of old in the year, then single quotes, comma, B. B is what year I am getting. So enter your name, I have entered Anup. Enter your age, 80. So the output will be printed as Anup will turn 100 years of old in the year 2040. Now in 2020 he is 80 years old. So after 20 years he will become 100 years of old. Okay children, thank you. Try out these programs from your home.